one of the things I've realized about leadership is that the energy of the leaders, right, is what reflects on the entire team. So whether you know it or not, your team will naturally take the kind of energy that you bring to the team, right, as a leader. So your energy is highly contagious, whether positive or negative. It is having an impact on the general team. So I have learned over the years that beyond direction, one of the most important things that you bring into your organization as a leader is motivation. They need to be that level of sustained motivation for the team to be able to perform. And for me, there are three things that has worked over the years, in trying to ensure that my team stay motivated, and any team that I am part of stay motivated as a leader. And here I'm not speaking in terms of title, I'm speaking in terms of responsibility. The first idea for me is that you must find a way to communicate how each member's tasks and roles within the organization connects and impacts into the larger vision. People want to always have a sense of how what they do makes an impact in the entire organization. Once that perspective is missing from the framework of people's job, you realize that they begin to lose motivation little by little. And the scripture comes to mind. Bible says that when there is no vision, the people lose self-control or cast off restraint. There's something that vision does, and it's not about vision, it's about communicating that vision, because vision not communicated means there's no vision, right? So it is your ability as a leader to communicate how what each member in the organization does, right, and connect what they do to the organization's larger purpose, right? Your ability to communicate that and they get it, right, keeps the team motivated. This works, guys. This works. So don't just have vision. Always come back to the team and ensure that they have a perspective on how what they do helps the larger organization achieve its goals, right? The second for me would be have a system where you have conversations and communication within a team. For example, in my organization, I always like to do that Monday morning meeting, right? For me, because everyone is coming from a weekend that may be different for each person, right? So I want to ensure that you are not bringing negative energy from the weekend into the new week. Ensure that I am part of your weekend. So for example, in my meetings on Monday, I always like to ask, tell us about your weekend. Tell the team how you spent your weekend. For me, I'm trying to get personal and emotional. I want to be part of that conversation, and I want to ensure that if there are any roadblocks, in your mind or in your spirit that you brought from the weekend, we can clear it off before we start off into the new week, right? So for me, what you are doing is that you are bonding with every team member. You are getting to them at a more personal and emotional level, and then you are able to strike a chord of motivation that gets everybody into the new week with productivity. Part of what we also discuss in that kind of meeting, challenges that you encountered in the last work week, right? That you feel like you need one or two help from any team member, such that you can clear off every form of roadblock. The truth is, if you don't get teams achieve greater results. If you don't get your people working as a team, right, there's a little motivation you can sustain. And so it is getting them to really work as a team, and in those kind of meeting is where you get everyone involved in each person's life and activity. The last for me would be celebrate small wins. This for me, because I realize that many people fall into that trap of always waiting for the bigger wins to celebrate something big in your organization, but leverage on every opportunity to celebrate something and make it worth celebrating. For example, we are supposed to win a contract of 10 million, right? We've not done the job and executed the job. We've not gotten the 10 billion or the 10 million, but we have gotten the contract signed by the client. That's a small win that can be celebrated. Leverage on it and use that to build momentum towards the bigger project and towards the implementation of that project. Look within your organization, and if you can find any small way to celebrate any small achievements, do it, because momentum builds, motivation builds through those initiatives, right? So you want to do that consistently, and a good way to do that as well is someone is celebrating birthday, turn it into a big celebration. Not necessarily big, but celebrate. Just find some ways to celebrate people within the team and including in their work. So you want to do that more regularly, and you will realize that there is a forming and bonding that is happening in the team. That alone increases the motivation of your team. So for me, I believe that it is not just direction that you provide as a leader, you also need to ensure that you are providing consistent motivation as a leader. If you try these three things, I believe that they will work. If you have any other ideas, please just share in the comment section, and let's see who else can learn from this. I hope this helps you. See you in the next video.